Now, let's talk about something that has only recently become like a big story. This is around activist Shaun King. So, little context to the situation. So, as you may or may not have heard, I'm pretty sure everyone has heard this by this point. But a couple nights ago, it was announced that Chadwick Boseman, Black Panther actor, had died because of colon cancer. And just a few words on that. It's really remarkable that he had been battling this for 4 years. That means like most of his MCU career was during that time battling cancer. So, like,
Yeah, it really shows his resilience and strength
yeah,
and his determination to live life to the fullest.
yeah, and he was able to keep it a secret, and he was able to like really not show any signs that he had cancer. And we all thought he was gonna, and I don't know, like I don't think they did any filming with it, but like we all thought he was gonna be in Black Panther 2.
Yeah.
You know, and I wonder what they're gonna do with that now. If they're just gonna, are they gonna like write him out of the MCU, or are they gonna try to recast him?
They might, they do holograms because they did that with Whitney Houston. Like, they made a hologram a character.
Hmm. They might. They've done. There's like really cool CGI stuff that have been done. Like Rogue
Yeah.
One, Star Wars Rogue One was able to, um, I mean it was noticeable, but it wasn't like it didn't look bad. Like they were able to like put a CGI projection of like a past character's face onto someone else. You know, so like maybe they might try to do something like that. But anyway, rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. You're truly one of the greats. You know, and people don't talk. Like people do talk about this, but like one compared to like his work in the MCU, he's also portrayed like a number of
Films like
figures
Jackie
in
Rob.
Black history. Like
Yeah.
Jackie Robinson, Thurgood Marshall, James Brown, to name a few. But anyway, this segment is not so much about Chadwick Boseman's death as so much as it is like controversy surrounding Shaun King, because Shaun King had written a book. He was paid 2 years ago to do it, and that's the only time he had made money on this book. He doesn't make any money from the book sales. The money that he does make on the book tour, he doesn't keep. He donates it to Black-owned businesses. But like in an email, like he was sending out a mass email, promoting his new book, and he had decided at the last second to include, like, to name drop Chadwick Boseman, and a lot of people saw that as him trying to capitalize on his death. And I thought, a lot of people are calling him like a bad faith actor, and which I just can't believe that people are saying that about Shaun King, because Shaun King has done some very important work within the last decade. Like within the last decade alone, and there's someone from our local community named Ziona Bryant, who has done some important work herself. She has done a lot for someone who is just a sophomore in college, and I think she was like 16 or something, like 15 or 16, when she, wrote the petition in Charlottesville to like take down the Confederate statues. Like she's done a lot of work herself for her short time as an activist, but she, put a video on her Instagram story referring to Shaun King as an activist, using air quotes, and I thought, like, how could she? Like,
Yeah, it's very disrespectful
yeah,
to his legacy and a lot of the work he's done. He's helped organize grassroots level change for reforms, defund police, and
yeah,
has in the past raised awareness about actually police shootings when many people were turning a blind eye or justifying it.
yeah. like I had followed Shaun King on Instagram for a long time, and even before, even before like Ahmed Arbery, uh, who was killed like in February or something like that. But like his story wasn't really projected, like
Yeah,
into the national
until
spotlight until
Shaun
like
King
April.
really got a hold of it.
Yeah, but like even before that, he would constantly be putting videos like, yes, this was a black man who was killed by police today, and like even like long before George Floyd had done that, like he covered a lot of the ones that were not covered by mainstream media outlets and that weren't so much a part of the national conversation around police brutality. And like we can debate all day long, like people can debate all day long about whether or not including Chadwick Boseman's name in his email was a good thing or not. But the main point is like people are using this to like say that he is somehow a bad faith actor. And, like how can you
Yeah,
support him?
or he's somehow trying to profit from the movement.
Yeah,
And a
as
lot of
we've already
things,
established, the only time he's profited from this book is when he was paid 2 years ago to write the book.
yeah, and
And
especially it
Chadwick
really
Boseman was
speaks.
still alive at that time.
Yeah, yeah, and it really speaks to like the double standard that black activists have, where they're assumed to have criminal activity or mischievous other motives to actually fight for justice. Because some of the same accusations were made against Martin Luther King himself.
Yeah. And also, I think it speaks to a greater problem with the left is that we are too ready to tear each other down just because one person doesn't seem pure enough.
Yeah, or necessarily fit our ideology,
Yeah.
which really speaks about extreme cancel culture when we're effectively fighting for the same issue.
Yeah. And yeah, it's not, and we're not using that, flowery language that politicians use. Like, we agree on our goals, we just have different ways of getting there. Like, no, like, we're these, like, Zion O'Brien and Shaun King have almost like the exact same goals from what I observed. And they are, and they're like the same goal of, you know, speaking about, police brutality and trying to affect systemic change to end, systemic racism. They have pretty much the exact same goals, as well as like many other, people. But just because one person does something that another would consider like unethical, that suddenly erases all of the important and good work that they had done beforehand.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the thing is, it's kind of misleading because I do think Chadwick Boseman should get included in the book because he was a heavy social justice activist before many people paid attention to George Floyd.
Yeah, and
I do think he will be a good contribution to like how you can make change. But the thing is, if sorry, if we're gonna like attack people for making profit, it should be the publishing company, not Shaun King. He's
yeah,
already proven that he doesn't make money a dime off of it.
yeah.
And the thing is, people like Zion and Bryant, they argue like, oh, he made money before, but how can you predicted Chadwick Boseman's death
Yeah.
from 2 years ago? He couldn't. He couldn't predict George Floyd from now 2 years
If
ago.
if he could, then I would say, okay, something is up with Shaun King.
Yeah,
if he could actually predict death. But
yeah, but the thing is, a lot of these events came in now, and now that he's
yeah,
more so in the national headlines, there is a lot of forces, including the right and some of the establishment left, who want to delegitimize him.
yeah. And those groups have solidarity with each other until the cows come home.
Yeah,
Like, that is definitely a problem with the left. We do not have solidarity with each other at all.
yeah.
And
It
we
doesn't
need
mean
to work
necessarily.
on that.
Yeah, it doesn't mean necessarily we have to kind of like tone down certain values or push them
Yeah.
away. It more so means that we have to come together and recognize we may have different views about seeing different issues or solving different issues, but like let's work toward the same goal. Let's not treat each other like we're the enemy.
Yeah, just because of one thing that some people might think is just like an example of like, I don't know, behavior. So
Yeah.
but yeah, so making it clear that we do stand with Shaun King.
Yeah.
If there's anyone who really truly doesn't deserve to be just kicked out of a movement,
It's Shaun King.
that he's definitely contributed to in more ways than anyone else could imagine. Like
one of the
Shaun
reasons
King does not
why,
deserve any of this.
Yeah. And he's one of the reasons why police brutality is a national issue right now in the media.
Yeah. He unlike many people, he doesn't just tweet out, support for Black Lives Matter, right after something like this happens. And it's just part of that heat in the moment, not necessarily saying the people that do this really aren't I'm not saying that people who do this are bad faith actors. But he never he never wears down. He always keeps at it, even when it isn't part of the national conversation.
Yeah. He doesn't matter when it's trending or not. He still talks about all the issues.
Yeah. And so yeah, I hope I wish all the best to Shaun King in overcoming this controversy. And he just keeps doing what he's doing. And I think if he just keeps doing what he's doing, I think he'll be okay.
Yeah, and I hope his family can come through this horrible time period where cancel culture is destroying left-wing politics.